how he did Death Proof and how those characters in that short film are so great and so strong. And I just bet his relationship to women on the set was probably really interesting.
It was. I mean, he was so passionate about all of us, and he had so much admiration for us. I mean, he would sit down with me and talk to me for an hour about how much he loved my performance in one scene, you know, and he would just go through every little detail, and like, when you did that, and when you said the line that way, and it was just, he's so kind of enthralled by actors, and I think specifically actresses, and kind of fascinated by them, and it was amazing to be around that.
Now, Jenna, your character in Sucker Punch is probably the most mysterious to us. Can you tell us a little bit about who you're playing and what it was like being on the set and what kind of physical training you went through and all that?
Well, when we were talking about auditioning before, what I found so strange is that they never auditioned me physically.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Like I was always a little worried. I mean, what if I had flat feet, or what if I couldn't, perform under pressure? Or, my heartbeat could only go so fast before I just sort of killed over. But I remember after I got the job, we did an evaluation, they called it, like a physical evaluation, and they put me through hell.
Oh, really?
And then, and then you just realize that's what the game, that's the name of the game, and you just got to go there, it's incredibly empowering as a woman to have so many strong men around you that are saying, I believe in you, you can do this, you can basically annihilate 100 men within 10 minutes, and you could do it amazingly. But I play Rocket, and it's kind of a surrealistic action film by Zack Snyder. And I don't know if you're familiar with his work, but it's his original piece. He wrote it, and I think it's a bit of his love child. So I think people are going to be really excited. It's about 5 girls in a mental sort of institution, and it operates on 3 different realities. So the surrealistic action is not just a pretty summary. I think it's the best way that I could tell you what it's about.
Uh-huh. And what kind of physical training did you go through for it?
I don't know about you guys, but we did 3.5 months with Navy SEALs and an artillery of 15 different martial artists. We did about 9 to 10 hours a day of physical training, strength training, martial arts, and then we'd end the day with weaponry. And we'd go out into the fields of Los Angeles and shoot, all sorts of guns. It was really insane. I mean, it's really liberating and beautiful, and it's almost I think it's a little dangerous for me, because now I finished the film and I feel like I could do so much, but I can do so much on film. It's like, I can walk down that dark alley, it'll be fine. I can just drop kick him, to the floor, do a suicide roll, and they're like, well, they're not all stuntmen, and that's what I have to remember.
Right. There are real bad guys.
Yeah.
So what's the one thing that you can do from all that training that you never thought you would have been able to do?
Deadlift 300 pounds.
And what about you guys? What is the wildest on-set experience you've had physically in playing these characters, and the wildest thing you've never imagined you could do that you can?
I just thought so many.
Pick a few.
The other day, sometimes I'm surprised at what they do actually let you do.
Right?
Sure. And just on that, because you guys were shooting in the same studio that we were at.
Fringe, yeah.
Yeah. And so we used to see all the girls. The guys from your crew, because they knew you had a really healthy regime with what you had to eat, and we'd have these guys come in and go, can we have a seat?
No,
just
we
not you.
The golf cart.
Yeah.
We stole the golf cart and went to a soda raid on your set. We just needed sugar.
They were starving. They just had but then you'd also see all the girls, and then all the stunties and everything all dressed up, and we used our crew had a ball.
Well, just real quick, I was 30 feet in the air upside down shooting my UMP fully automatic rifle while they were lowering me, and I had to unload my mag as I was upside down in a harness. And as I got down to the floor, the gun control guy kind of was looking at me a little freaked out. He's like, "Are you alright?" I'm like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "The only other person I know that's ever done that gone upside down on a wire and unloaded the UMP was Ice Cube. And I was like, that is awesome. I'm like right up there with it right now. I feel good in good company, right?
Yeah, I know what kind of I ran through the woods the other day. I caught myself. That's pretty great. That's the fun thing. That was crazy. That was actually technically really quite ridiculous to learn all of that and then have to keep switching it in and out and know where you were going to go, and then we had the other girls come in to play. But that was fun. That was really, really fun. Learning both sides of the fight and both sides of the scene, and then trying to find, I'm not a very good fighter and I've never trained in any sort of martial arts, or I haven't boxed, but trying to find differences between different fighting, things like that. That was really fun. But I love all of that stuff.
And did your two characters fight differently?
Well, yeah. What I was going to say before is we call her Bolivia, so that's what we call her. Yeah, Bolivia is kind of tight. She shoots with one gun, and Olivia kind of, her arms go everywhere. She moves constantly. There's a few subtleties. I'm working on more.
It's so much fun to get into the physical character, though. You know, and that's the feel like, you know, when you're saying role models, that's the thing I feel like I didn't have, was like amazing female action role models to be able to sort of help, you know, understand what it's like to like punch a guy in the face really hard, you know, and just like understanding the body.
But that's like, I'm interested in answering the question, because I've never actually hit anybody in my life. Have you? Because that's something that I think a lot of guys do have that experience, and I haven't.
No playground squabbles.
Some guys let us.
But in real life, no, I
Only people I pay, which sounds really wrong. You know, it is true, your trainers are like, just go ahead, 50%, 50%. You're like, how do you know what my 100% is? Like, my 50% could knock you off your feet. But they look at me, they're like, I don't think so, go ahead.
Elizabeth, what's your craziest physical thing that you've done?
Well, I can't top that. I mean, not that it's a competition, but that's just beautiful. I can see it. I'm picturing being an upside down, like, yeah, and then she reloaded, and, you know, I get dangled in wells, and, you know. I do tend to be kind of hardcore. Like, I like to, you know, like Josh and I, when we were doing that, I was like, hey, let go of the thing, like, let him really hold me. And for the first couple days, it was great, and then Josh is like, or we could just put a little bit of it. Yeah, it's fun. It kind of amps it up.
Now for the TV actresses, how much input have you had in the characterizations of your characters? And are there times when you say, guys, you know, Juliet would never do that, or Olivia doesn't talk like that, or Erica would not say that? I mean, how much have you been able to actually have a lot of say in what you do?
I think this is my first ever, you know, like American TV show, so I think I'm sort of learning how much, you know, what that give and take kind of is. But then another part of me thinks, and this is just my opinion, I like the challenge of justifying what I've been given, you know, and interpreting it my way, and that's kind of the stain that I put on it, I guess. But oh well, I mean, I've been saying I want to play Olivia from the other side for ages, and we got that, so maybe I have more influence than you.